last we left off, our adventurers were approached by the leader of the Volek State Cell in Night Hollow, Peselius, who proposed that the group tie up some loose ends before leaving the town of Night Hollow. The group was asked to infiltrate the Prospero garrison within Night Hollow and kill or capture Melcadia Saren, then find any incriminating evidence about their involvement in the death of Egreth Runai, their abduction of Dr. Thirbly Crolius's assistant Simon, and their connection with the rampant Warforged at the town market. The Volek state said that they will see Melcadia Saren once he is killed or captured, and will modify his memory and destroy or replace incriminating evidence found in the garrison. As all good plans go, combat erupted shortly after the group entered the Prospero garrison, and they swiftly dispatched the Iron Consul Burke Fenador and his guards. Wasting no time, the group then headed upstairs where Melcadia Saren was believed to be. Sir Saren did not seem surprised that the group had decided to attack him in his quarters, and after his peacekeeper Warforged incapacitated Kime, Melcadia fled up to his private tower, sealing the door behind him with an arcane lock. Once the remaining minions were destroyed, the group contemplated what to do. Kime and Arvin tried to open the tower door, but the magical force from the arcane lock made it very hard to get through. Suddenly, the sound of shattered glass was heard from above, mixed with a brief yell and a heavy thud. Panoply raced to the balcony and saw Melcadia Saren attempting to get off the floor, lying in a pile of broken glass. Not wasting any time, Panoply notched 2 arrows to disable Melcadia Saren, and before he could die, Panoply stabilized the man. As the group realized what had transpired, they began looking for anything of importance, especially the diary, notes, and evidence that could be used to incriminate the party in any actions that the nation of Prospero would deem to be illegal or suspect. Turksine inspected Melcadia Saren's body and found his spellbook, taking a few moments to glance through it and identify a few spells that he would try to copy. While Kime continued to break down the tower door, Arvin investigated the desk and discovered the diary and notes which would incriminate the group. Taking a moment to study the diary, Arvin came across an accumulation of notes, theories, and suspicions of the group's involvement in the death of Egreth Runai, the apparent trap in the Warforged factory that led to the malfunctioning of his own Warforged, the Market Square massacre, and the group's involvement with Dr. Thirbly Crolius, or more importantly, their affiliation or abduction of the sentient being known as Simon. Of a more important matter, it appears that Melcadia Saren had done extensive research on the group members themselves. Within his diary and notes are detailed case files of each member. His notes for each individual were as follows. Arvin, known as the Jolly, an orphan who was raised at the Sunshine Orphanage School for the Dyslexic, temporarily served as the role of the Pied Piper, with a note, "Is this a real title?" Wanted by the Queen's Waif for abandoned duties to the Guild, reward 200 gold. Panoply, half-breed tiefling, of the Valerian Empire, descendant of council member Minnow Valanoff and Lord Commandant Cyprus Valanoff, informally known as Thibaud. Her drow father JACQUIER of House Ban Racour. House Ban Racour is known to be friendly to non-drow and is rumored to have alternate interpretations of lost teachings, which has led to much division. Other drow houses have been showing signs of aggression. Prospero informants are keeping a close eye on the politics of the Underdark. Kime Stormbreaker, related to Panoply. In parentheses, I fail to see the resemblance. Of the Valerian Empire, also a descendant of Minnow and Cyprus Valanoth on his mother's side. On his father's side, Kono Stormbreaker, his grandfather, an esteemed paladin of the Knights of Aurelia, died a hero's death in the War of the Serpent's Betrayal. Father, Kyrian Stormbreaker, murderer, vanished. And Terxian Calvaris, of the nation of Prospero, an arcane practitioner. No academy schooling, though. Parents Turward and Elazira Calvaris, owner of an inn. His brother, Turvald Calvaris, law mage of Prospero. Eventually, Chaim gave up on the tower door, and he headed to the balcony and realized that he can see through the shattered window above. He summoned his echo in the tower, and then swapped places with the shadowy form. Deciding to follow him, Arvin received an assist from Panoply to climb into the tower and search around with his companion. Chaim seemed impatient, tearing through the personal chambers of Malkadia Saren, while Arvin peruses the private bookshelf in this room. He finds some documents in a book containing a secret compartment, flips through notes, and realizes that this building is some sort of asylum or prison. There is a note: if the conditioning doesn't work, the subjects will be sent to the Visma Immaterium. Before Arvin can read further, a pulsating light emanates throughout the tower as Chaim opens Malkadia Saren's trapped chest, triggering the fail-safe contingency. Arvin quickly pockets the book as the temperature increases drastically. Then a blinding flash blasts through the tower as everything flammable not worn or carried by a creature catches alight. It almost feels like your skin is melting off your body. The remaining windows explode outward from the pressure change as fast as it occurred. Then everything returns back to normal. As you all look around, nearly everything that could be flammable has disintegrated into ash, and the larger items are heavily charred. Chaim, shocked by what happened, notices a pristine pouch and an onyx box engraved in draconic runes. After a few jokes, Chaim and Arvin decide to head down, but not before Chaim takes the items from the trapped chest. Meanwhile, downstairs, Panoply was getting increasingly more agitated as she listened for signs of others entering from outside. Keeps moving to the edge of the balcony, looking and listening, returning to Saren and checking his pulse. She glanced above at the top of the rope of the window, moving to make sure Terxian is still where she left him, as he is furiously scribing in his spellbook. Panoply mutters more to herself than anything, as Terxian seems too engrossed in his book. Where are they? I don't want to leave before I know where they're going to take care of things. As Panoply catches Arvin coming down the rope, she does a double take at the soot on his face. Says another possibly joke. Maybe they can make it look like the whole place burned in a wizard's accident or something. Seconds after, and not as gracefully, Chaim reaches the bottom of the rope with a grin on his face as he holds an onyx box in a small bag. But before anybody can say anything, Kessa enters the room and glances around, with Vesalius a few feet behind, and the strange, silent man that has been accompanying them this whole time. Kessa looks at Chaim, covered in burn marks, and with a smirk on her face, she remarks, "Well, I guess you found the prize. Though I fear the entire town might have seen that explosion." And this is where we begin tonight's session. In the garrison of the nation of Prospero, late at night, What all would you like to do?
Kaim embarrassingly tries to rub the smut off his face since Kessa walked in, and he's just making it worse.
Well, Kessa, we've got someone here who needs your help. If you guys wouldn't mind stepping up.
I don't think I am qualified to help Kaim.
No one can help that man. Melcadia. Motion down to the guy laying on the ground, bleeding to death.
Oh, you managed to not kill him, I see. That is impressive. It is far easier to kill somebody than to leave them dying but not dead.
All thanks to Panoply.
Panoply
Seems
gives Arvin a
slinking in the
suspicious glance.
shadows. She looks at you. Seems slinking in the shadows is not her only trick.
She's obviously very skilled. So, anyway, I don't think he's doing too hot here.
Well, I think you should bring him inside and we shall attend to him.
He's not doing too hot, but Kaim is.
So hot.
So did you guys kill the robot downstairs?
Not exactly. We, temporarily reprogrammed him.
And how much time does Tirsian need to copy down spells from the spellbook?
I think I had only like one more spell to copy. It was going to take 2 minutes when the explosion went off. At the time of the explosion went off. I don't know how long it took you guys to, from that to now, if those 2 minutes are up.
It's getting close.
Okay.
Do you guys have a dispel? And I kind of wave the rope.
That is a good question. Yes.
Yes.
Pacelius casts Dispel Magic upon your rope trick.
I gather it up and put it back in my bag. Oops, forgot I couldn't actually dismiss that spell.
Kessa drags Melcadia into the room, and both Pacelius and the interesting individual with him start attending to him.
So, most importantly, we have now covered our tracks, assuming nobody saw the large explosion coming
We
from
have to
this
get
house.
out of town here, though.
Yeah, is it time to head out now?
Is there sounds, like if I listen outside of the compound? Like all around the compound?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, regardless of sound, we definitely got to get moving. Very perceptive.
There's not too many sounds that you can hear, but you see 4 individuals walk up to the gate from the entrance of the building. And they look like they're of the nation of Prospero.
Oh,
Then
fuck
they just like stand there.
Is there a back exit out of this place?
Kessa?
You can make one.
I think we need to gather up our belongings and get going. We've already done what we came here to do, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Question? So, gather up stuff, and we're gonna try go out. Is there a back door if we go down? And can I transform myself to look like the clerk, Warforged? Is he technically a creature?
He's not.
Damn it.
He's a construct.
May I make an attempt? Have there been humanoid Warforged like we fucked up in the marketplace?
Humanoid, no.
Damn it.
Can you be a dog?
No. It specifically says you have to have the same basic arrangement of limbs.
Kessa looks over to you all. I did not see a back door, but you all seem skilled enough to traverse the roofs of this building if you don't want to go out the front door. I assure you that the Night Hollow militia will probably be here within a half hour. Hopefully by then we'll have this place cleaned up and that we will be able to stall them.
Is that the people who are outside? Is that yours?
She gives you a wink.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. It's not so bad now.
As far as I'm concerned, you all killed Burke Fenador. So, take that as you will for who is out at the front gate.
Let's roll. Can we start
What?
heading out toward the front gate?
What about our reward? Job is done.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought the reward was
Yes.
getting all the stuff that we could find.
she hands you a rather decent-sized satchel that you can hear the clinking of potion bottles and items in there, which is the 5 potions, the Deck of Illusions, and the Pearl of Power. And it says, I'm sure you would like some more information later. We can make sure you get that, or you can stop by and see Erphonia and Sabira, and they can give the information you so desire.
Well, that's right. She was gonna let us pick one piece of information, right?
I don't need mine.
Yes, but we are busy.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Wait, is that something our group wants to get before we peace out?
I can get it later. Oh, I
Okay.
really want to peace out.
Yeah. Okay, front gate. Let's go.
We should get out of here. I'm assuming we can reach
Where-
somebody else for that information. Are we coming back to see Erphonia? They're on the east side. We're heading west, no?
Yeah. Is there anyone a contact in Steeplight that we could look up?
Figure it out.
Perhaps we could arrange something. You have the coin, yes?
Yeah.
Good. It will serve you well.
How do we get out of here? Ah! Okay. Maybe. I don't know where I'm going.
Either we will find you, or you can attempt to find somebody at Steeplight. And the coin should help you find them. As Arvin is lost in this area,
Where am I?
as you enter these rooms, they look like hospital beds almost, and there are not all of them are full, but some of them have almost like comatose patients inside of them.
The asylum. Ah!
Jesus, I lost Arvin.
I'm here. I'm good. First floor. Oh god, I clicked a button.
I thought we were going through the roof.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to the roof. I'm coming.
Let's head to the roof.
Is the 2 minutes up yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Turkskin's gonna look up and realize there's no one else around him,
Bye.
and start making his way in. and he'll just drop, or he'll put the spellbook back in the guy's robe.
Kessa smiles at you as you do that. I hope you found something interesting in there.
I hope so.
And
Well,
Kaim,
good luck.
he'll say, well, Kessa, it's been real. Hopefully we'll see you again, and not with a dagger in my back or our back. And he winks at her.
Oh, I assure you that I will see you soon.
And he runs for the roof, wherever that is.
Do we know the way? I'm lost.
This is the balcony, and then we kind of could climb up above multiple levels.
Yeah, you guys can essentially get out from the roof if you want. Not hard with rope and whatever. I will have everybody roll a stealth check though.
Jesus, God.
Motherfucker.
Ooh, look at our wizard. Oh, our bard.
What?
And Kaim still does worse.
And somehow I do worse. And it's not even in that one.
I mean, the other two of us were real good, though.
It's definitely a mixed bag going up on the roof and climbing over and getting to the rear of this garrison. At one point, as Arvin is heading up the rooftop and over, he stumbles on the roof, and Turksian, of all people, actually manages to grab his wrist before he stumbles off the roof and allows Arvin to readjust himself. Kaim is just clinkety clunking on the roof, nothing terrible, but hopefully there are no watching eyes about.
Thanks, Tirxian. That was a close one.
I'm surprised even myself.
Was so worried about Kaim making all that noise that I wasn't paying attention.
Your silk pants swish.
Ah, it's all these robes getting in the way. These fancy clothes.
So what is your plan from here?
We're gonna go to the horses, and then we're gonna get the fuck out. And we're gonna...
Horses
Camp.
and west.
Yeah, we're gonna... Maybe... Like, it's... What time is it? It's late, right?
Oh yeah, by this time, you are pushing 11:30 at night.
We are going to go a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I still say an hour of travel at least is the safest.
Exhaustion, whatever. We're just gonna do it.
Did we give them the diary and notes, or did we keep all of that?
They would have asked for them to be handed over.
Both of them? Okay.
They wouldn't really know of the one that Arvin took, but they would be requiring the other one.
Did you read those notes out loud so everybody knows it, or do you just know it?
Me? No, that was what our voice in the sky read out during the pre-story.
But did you read that out loud so everyone else knows it, or is that just information that only you know currently?
I did not read it out loud. We did not have time for that.
So
Just me.
did you keep that, or did you give it to Kessa with the diary?
No, I did not give it, and I would not have shared information about it if she did not specifically ask.
Sweet.
They would have asked for that specific diary, though, and said something along the lines of, this is something that could be tracked quite easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said up front they wanted it, right?
Oh God. Yeah. I didn't know that they specifically asked for it in that case. Yeah.
Well, there's 2 books, right?
Yes, the second book that Arvin pocketed is one that they did not ask for and don't know about.
Wait. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So there's the diary that is the incriminating evidence, which was the entire quest, essentially.
That's what the Wallach State has.
Then there is the other book that Arvin pocketed in the tower that, at brief glance before Kym set off the explosion, it looked like it was discussing something about this building itself, and it mentioned the conditioning of like the patients and worst case scenario they can send them somewhere.
Okay. I apologize. I had those mixed up.
Okay, so all the notes about us as individuals was
Those are in the diary.
given over to Kessa at the Volk State.
Yep, so it's all in Arvin's head.
Okay.
And of course, one of those they are going to share as part of our reward. Or probably go into more detail, I imagine. But in the meantime, we're peacing out.
Alright, you all leave Night Hollow, you find your horses. The Volek State was sort of boarding them in a private little sanctum, essentially.
Ben and Jerry, let's go.
You'll head out in the night. How long are you riding for?
If it doesn't sound bad, I'd say an hour to the west and then a little bit into the forest.
Can we reach the forest in an hour?
If you're... no, not in an hour.
Hour and a half? 2 hours?
It's almost like a full day's journey to get into the forest.
Oh, we can't go that far.
No, we'll just go. We're gonna ride hard on the road for how about half an hour, and then we'll just. Do we know where that crack is? Oh shit.
Here?
Maybe an hour, and then like half an hour south of the road or something. Like maybe ride for an hour and then go half an hour south.
Okay.
That'd be
Oh,
like
this crack.
safely off the road. Yeah. Sorry, not your crack.
Alright, you all ride hard throughout the night, and then south. Find a place off the road. Is that where you're setting up camp?
Yep.
Alright. Normal watch. Who usually watches first?
I often do, I think.
And who's normally second, third, and fourth?
Be second.
I got 3.
I think we figure it's better for the melee people to rest last because we are still semi-effective without spell slots.
Fair enough. I could be third or fourth.
No, I mean you're good second. Like if I go first and you go second, because I mean we can still fight, and then it lets Turxian and Arvin recover their spell slots first.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody can take a long rest.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're taking the rest inside of the tiny hut again.
Sure.
If you're casting Tiny Hut, I'm in.
Cool.
Wipe the soot off of my face.
You missed a spot.
Clean
Pointing
off
at my nose.
clothes.
Kai, make a perception check.
"13."
Okay. As day breaks, before Turksian's tiny hut disappears, Kaim, you kind of not drift off, but just drift away in thought. And as you kind of snap out of it, you know, like when you just daydream too heavy and you're not exactly sure what just happened, and you bring yourself back and gather your bearings, just sitting on a boulder a mere 20 feet away is Pacelius. With his cloak over his head, you can see just peering at the tiny hut these bright blue eyes, almost as if there's a blue flame that comes from within.
Kaim will cautiously walk over. "Can I help you? Thought we left you behind in Night Hollow."
Yes, you did. You did a good job there.
"Thanks. We were well motivated."
I imagine this Melcaria Saren did quite the extensive research on your group. Very thorough. The law mages of Prospero seem to know exactly how to investigate the suspicious dealings of nearby locals. He had tomes and tomes of books of various individuals in there.
What did he have on us? What information did he have?
Well, he seemed to know exactly where all of you were from and who you might be related to.
Wasn't looking to do anything to our relatives, right? Like, my family back at home is safe?
With the nation of Prospero, no one is truly safe. While there was no ill intent written within his diaries, who knows what he was gathering that information for? But you did your job and we did ours, and all of that information is now gone.
Thank you for that. You saved us a whole ordeal of trouble.
It's rather ironic, but thank you as well, for they had been quite a thorn in our side for quite some time. Now that hut there that you have, that will come in handy. It didn't feel like waking you up, just to be aware that people like myself could, in fact, just walk up and dispel it.
Well, that's why we take turns watching, so that we can be aware of people with ill intent trying to do stuff to us.
Yet your thoughts were wandering while you were on watch.
There's not much there, trust me.
It was interesting enough to understand.
So what do you think you heard from me?
Just now?
Yeah. For when my mind was wandering.
He essentially tells you whatever your surface thoughts were over the past 10 minutes.
Kessa.
Kai's eyes just widen.
Nothing like no deep thoughts, just whatever was on. You know how there's usually like 3 or 4 thoughts floating through your head at once? He practically like verbatim repeats those top thoughts.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about you reading my mind like that. You know, that's private stuff.
Don't worry, I didn't pry too deep.
Could always just ask.
Sometimes waiting and watching give you more information than asking.
So let's cut to the chase. Why are you here?
I owe you something.
Like what? We have our reward.
You have your material reward, but for some, information is an incredibly useful tool.
Oh, you mean the information on each of us that we would want to know?
The offer still stands.
I don't know if we agreed on which.
Well then, how about we think about it over breakfast?
Yeah. You're sticking around?
Oh, I brought some fine goods from the nation of Prospero. Melcadius Saren sends his regards. Seems he doesn't remember a thing.
All right. Well, the rest should be up in a couple hours from now, so hang tight. Try not to make too much noise.
The irony of you saying that is so good, dude.
He just sits there with the cloak over his face. That deep dark skin of his just exacerbates the fiery blue eyes that you can see under that cloak.
Kai was just awkwardly trying not to look at him, but the silence is kinda getting to him. So he just says, that Kessa, huh? What a piece of work, huh?
There's a long, awkward pause until he finally responds. She's one of my most reliable agents.
She's pretty good. I have to admit, caught me off guard quite a few times.
I'd consider yourself lucky, as most people caught off guard have their throats cut too.
Are the rest of us awake now?
You would all be waking up.
I'd imagine if we didn't do good by the Volok state, our throats would be cut. So I'm glad we're on good terms.
We're not that ruthless, but if you backstab us, then
No, no, no,
Let's
no,
just say nobody will remember you.
We have no intention of doing that. Trust us.
It looks like the rest of your company is waking up. I'll start breakfast.
Oh, look. Company.
Yeah.
What's for breakfast this fine morning?
He starts pulling out items from a satchel that's fairly similar to one that you all picked up, as it seems to hold more than it can physically contain. And he starts pulling out bacon and pots and pans and firewood and all sorts of different items for breakfast. Potatoes, sausage.
Come any time, Basilius.
Most people don't find my presence agreeable.
Hey, blue eyes aside, information and breakfast doesn't get better than that.
I would like to see if he tastes as he is taking cooked food off of this fire before I eat a goddamn thing.
See if he what?
I want to see him eat this food before I have any of it.
Okay. He hands each of you a plate and sees Panoply's trepidations, and he nods and says, "Yes, that is smart."
Before he even
Me.
finishes that sentence, Kaim is just stuffing it down.
And before he takes a bite, he looks over at Kaim. Well, at least that one likes breakfast. And Peselius starts eating the food too.
Guys, it's really good. You should try it.
I will grudgingly eat a little bit.
I think Turkson will take some, but he's also deep into his spell book at the moment, changing out some spells.
Is there anybody else? I'd like to glance around and be like, is that dude alone?
Well, while we're eating, the important task now. Oh, good roll.
He looks like he's alone.
We need to figure out who we're going to learn more about.
I
mean, oh, go ahead.
So while we're eating, I used the cantrip formulas feature from Tasha's to switch out one of my cantrips, and I took prestidigitation, and I'm just cleaning all of this soot off of from the explosion off of Kaim and Arvin's armor and themselves.
Hey, can you get this blood off too? I think it's Macadius's.
Sure.
I don't really care about blood normally, but he said not to take anything off his person, and this is very personal. Sorry, so information.
Right. So I guess we should start with who is not interested at all in having the rest of the group hear about their past. Or just don't care about knowing.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he gave us a number of options of stuff that they could tell us, including like casting Remove Curse on Turxian, talking about or letting us see Simon, and then a few other options, right? We get to choose one of those things.
For now, until you decide to help us some more, yes.
Oh, so this is gonna
Pipe
be a
up this
recurring
more.
thing, huh?
Perhaps.
DM, what were the options again? I personally don't remember.
They offered to cast Greater Restoration or remove Curse on Tarxian, information gleaned from Simon, information regarding Kym's shadows, aka past, information on the Queen's Waif and Steep Light, and then information on House Ban Rakor, or any other information within reason that you all are interested in that they might know about or have the means to discover.
Is anybody interested in anything pertaining to themselves?
I mean, I don't think, unless we're gonna go search for my mother, we necessarily need to know that information yet.
Say the two things that intrigue me would be having Greater Restoration or remove Curse on Tyxian, because I have no idea what that's all about. Or since we are going to Steep Light, presumably, learning more about why there's a price on my head, or about the Queen's Waif.
I mean, that sounds reasonable to me. Are you okay with us knowing about you?
I have nothing to hide. But again, what's this whole remove curse thing about?
Oh, about that. Turkson mutters to himself and touches himself on the forehead and casts Remove Curse.
Oh, what?
There's a ever so faint smirk on Peselius's face. Interesting. Well played. Turxian, at first, nothing feels different. And you're sitting there like, that seemed like a waste of a spell slot. Like, and your mind goes to being cursed. But then just a random image floats through your head. You're in Datar's respite, and your parents' inn. And you're at the top of the stairs. But your parents look much younger. And they're speaking to someone who looks awfully like yourself now that you're grown up. Behind him are two wizards of the nation of Prospero and a small contingent of various Warforged and Construct. Your parents are crying, and they hug the young man in front of them. And this young man is maybe 14 years old by the looks of it. And he looks up to you up on the stairs, and walks to the bottom of the stairs, and you run forward and grab him and hug him. And you remember saying, "Don't go." And your big brother looks down at you and says, "Don't worry, little brother. I'll return." And then the memory fades.
But I have no idea who or how that memory may have been modified, or
You're unsure. You
Okay.
know that you've never, at least that you recall, had that memory ever before in your head.
Maybe that was the curse.
think Turxian's just shocked and internalizing, not knowing what to do. Probably going to stay quiet for a while.
I think that's a good point to take a quick break, if you don't mind taking a 5-minute break or 10-minute break.
Please. BRB.
Yep.
Alright,
Come with
coming
me.
back soon. Turxian sort of sits there in quiet contemplation. Basilius watches over him with curiosity and then looks at the rest of the group. So I assume it is Steeplight and the Queen's Waif you are interested in.
Yes, please.
No one has any objections.
I
Don't be afraid to speak up.
I mean, nah, it's all right. Let's go to Steep Light. Let's figure this out.
Remember, we will have the opportunity to learn more about the rest of us.
If we want to be indebted.
If we don't die.
Also that.
Very well.
I want to make sure we got all the breakfast first. No other treats hiding in that bag, right?
He looks at you. Perhaps. But not for this day.
Well, perfect weather for storytelling time. What have you got for us?
You traveled to Steeplight. You must understand the politics of the city. It is a haven of thieves, sellswords, mercenaries, and those without a family. It is all run as a network of various different guilds, with the de facto leader or most powerful guild, the Queen's Waif, run by an unscrupulous individual who calls herself the Queen of Thieves, which seems a little egotistical, but she has proven to be very powerful. Steeplight has managed to remain outside of the domain of the nation of Prospero for quite some time. The nation seems to stay away from the city, as most attempts to bring their version of law and order has been met with cold, calculated murder. They also seem to not be interested in full-scale invasion of Steeplight, as on the outside, Steeplight just seems to be a town full of orphans and widows and drunkards, and that sort of propaganda wouldn't carry well through the rest of the world. But make no mistake, Steeplight is a front for criminal activity would not do it justice in describing the Steeplight. The transfer of humans across realms, or other types of humanoids, the abduction of families, children, and people all to be brought under the umbrella of the Thieves Guild and the Queen of Thieves. What we have been tracking is that the Queen's Waif is heavily involved in moving individuals of interest from the far western realm of the nation of Prospero and delivering them to individuals of, let's just say, unscrupulous practices such as Dr. Thorbly Crolius and Egreth Runai and any and all other accomplices. Individuals that the Volek state at time has made use of, but the more we understand what they are doing and what they are capable of, let's just say that even I kind of shudder at those thoughts.
Is that where Simon is from? Did they get time? Like,
Yes, while I won't delve too deep into the dealings of Simon himself, he was once an individual of the nation of Prospero that was abducted and experimented on. And the Queen's Waif was responsible for that abduction. Or at least one of the minor guilds within the umbrella.
And have we learned why I have a price on my head?
Well, you see, your orphanage that you once belonged to isn't exactly an orphanage, but more of a training ground or a place where the various guilds can bring in more warm bodies into their ranks. And when the previous leader of the orphanage failed at his duties and was summarily executed, there was a slight internal strife that occurred and a void left within that particular orphanage. A void which you, Arvin the Jolly, took up the mantle of the most ridiculous title I've ever heard of, the Pied Piper.
Rings a bell.
Unbeknownst to you, that role had incredibly important dealings within the hierarchy of the Thieves Guild. And while you were not officially put at its helm, there are fears that you might possibly know a little bit too much. There are other fears that you might have sold out. Let's just say that the Thieves Guild itself doesn't like its members leaving for any reason. Even if it does seem like you were a little bit over your head and had no idea what you were stepping into. At least that is what I am told.
Interesting. I wonder why I was not contacted originally.
As mentioned, it seemed that there was a slight bit of conflict within the guild itself, as you can only imagine that an organization of criminals like that doesn't exactly go smoothly at all times.
Sounds like a fun time to go home, right?
What does the Pied Piper do?
He like force laughs.
I can get into that later. So important to know would be, have they been tracking where we're going? Do they expect us to come back?
I would see you are not the top of their concerns right now, but the fact that their contact in Egrith Runai no longer exists, they might delve into that a little bit more, but I can assure you they don't have quite the networking that the nation of Prospero or, say, the Volok state has. But the price on your head gets larger and larger as time goes on. Unfortunately, it seems that they send not exactly the strongest of individuals against you for the time being. But I did hear through the grapevine of some individuals that, well, their bandit camp was raided. And one of the individuals believed that he knew who raided the bandit camp and destroyed, well, their operation in the Ascensarium.
On memories of that.
Maxwell.
Would any information of Warforged going to Steeplight be of use to us? Or is that part of the whole underground? Oh.
That was information we uncovered in the factory run by Egrith Runai, that Egrith was selling her prototype Warforged to the Queen's Waif, as it seems they like them for extra muscle as guards, as, well, human guards and elves and half-elves, they can be, their loyalty can be bought with coin. But a Warforged is bound by its master.
Are
That is, until you sever that bond.
are the constructs similar enough to Warforged that the crystals work on them?
That is yet to be determined, as Dr. Thirbly Crolius and Egrith Runai were still experimenting, as most of their Warforged were just artificial intelligence. Simon, on the other hand, was a great leap into the secrets of the nation of Prospero and how they go about creating their Warforged army.
In case we test that, Simon is not in Steeplight, just and will not be.
No, Simon is safe.
Sounds like it might be a little sticky trying to help out some of my old friends.
The Queen of Thieves is very powerful in her own right, and she holds a lot of power within Steeplight. So if you plan to go there with a price on your head, well, you might just... you might be in for quite a ride, as they say.
So you said we have gold, and that would get us in. Is that because it makes us a target?
Well, as you may know, thieves do like money. Into a city headed by thieves, I have a feeling that there might be some bribes in order.
Well, any sell swords with money that enter steep plights are definitely looked at with cautious curiosity, as usually only those in desperate... Those that are out... Those that are desperate head to steep plight, not to those who already have enough coin to live on.
Right, my situation just might be a little bit different than most people's.
Maybe you shouldn't wear those fancy clothes.
I know well of disguises. Definitely switch things up. Well, there are certainly some people I would like to help back in the city if we're still brave enough to follow me there.
Do you know if he's really an orphan? I'll ask Celius. I mean, because they take people, right?
By the loosest of definitions, Arvin is most definitely an orphan. I believe he knows that.
I think if the group decides to head south, I would be more than willing to share my story so everybody knows what they would be expecting.
Do you have any keepsakes from when you were an orphan in Steeplight?
I most certainly do. Is there something I should know about it? Or the identical pair that we also got from the bandits in Caesarium?
May I see one of these keepsakes?
Boop. Arvin pulls out his own teddy bear.
Do you care for this?
That's kept me alive this long. Good luck, Charm.
He takes it, and you see now that he did have a dagger in his hand and he sheaths it.
He's gonna kill your teddy bear.
And he starts, like, feeling around the teddy bear.
You know.
And he finally feels something. And he hands it back to you. I think if the Queen of Thieves really wants to, she can find you.
Would say it ain't so, not Teddy.
You could just... Is there something in there?
He's insinuating that there's something that the Queen can crack.
There's something that they are able to track
Can you cut it out?
each individual orphan with.
You could just sew it back up.
Who knows how to sew? Not my Teddy.
You can darn a sock.
You said you had a pair. What is the other one?
The other one was from our friend Maxwell, I believe. Pull out that Teddy. Here.
Do you care about this one?
No, feel free. Motions to the dagger.
With a very quick cut, he cuts through the back of the teddy bear, and he searches around within it and pulls out a coin from the teddy bear.
I'm intrigued. I mean, I was hoping there would be treasure in there. Is that the item that was being tracked?
It, on one side, just has a female that has a mask on that is... It reminds you of a Joker on a set of playing cards. Like, it looks like one side is checkered with, like, diamonds and clubs, and the other side is hearts and spades. And the individual holds a rapier and a dagger across their chest, sort of crossed over like a duelist. And then on the back side of the coin is engraved a name on it.
The name being?
That name is...
Maxwell.
No, Maxwell is the one that you took back to Night Hollow, I believe.
Wait,
Wait,
is this the
no.
one who helped us against the Grillons? And then
No,
his
no,
untimely
no.
demise?
Sorry, it was Maxwell. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the name is Maxwell. And he looks at the coin and says, "This is how they find you when they absolutely need to."
All of a sudden, I'm not feeling so attached to Teddy.
I mean, you could just like, yeah, get it near the seam, open the seam, it'll be fine.
Okay, but what are we planning on doing with the coin that they can track? Are we just leaving it behind? Can we use it? Can we send it with someone?
We should.
Elias, would you want to take it?
I always have uses for things like that.
Oh shoot, do we want to give that to him?
Your choice. I mean, my idea is just put it in the middle of the road. And I'll let it go where it may.
How would they be able to track it? It has to be some sort of magic, right? Turkson, would you be able to dispel it or something?
It's an item that they are familiar with. So, various divination magics can either locate an item or essentially scry upon an item. How do you think that we've been keeping such a close eye on you all?
Owls.
Is there a coin in my bag?
If we cut open Penny, is there a coin?
I wouldn't try, but no. And besides the fact that our agents can walk around and among you without truly being seen.
I would say that if you don't mind taking the coin from our possession, you might be able to lead them off of our true path if they were to look. That would be very beneficial.
I recall there's a group of individuals that you wanted us to frame on the incident in the Prosperin garrison.
I cock my head and turn to Penny, open my eyes wide.
Yes.
Maybe I can put it on them.
Sounds like a swell idea. This is, of course, if the group still is interested in following us to the south, which seems like a
I mean,
very
it seems
adventurous
like.
place to go.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't want to go from Night Hollow. It seems like there's some weird stuff involved with Thirdly Crolius, although, you know, or the stuff that Turksy was looking into. I mean, we'd have to go back to the other continent. This seems local.
Plus, you all just are intrigued and want to learn more about me.
I mean, kind of.
All right, Basilius. Any other final information we might need to know? Otherwise, That truly was a lot.
I would tell you this. Don't get caught up in the game of politics with the Queen of Thieves. Even I'm not brave enough for that.
Sounds like some good advice.
So you're trying to help some people there, right? You want to help them get away? You want to help them like financially?
Well, originally I was hoping to help them financially, which still might be a possibility, but now knowing a little bit more about the city, if it's possible to help some of my friends out of the situation entirely, I wouldn't be against that. But I don't think the Queen or other guilds would be too keen on that idea.
If you take them out of the city and out of the keepsake of the Thieves Guilds, and just know that they better be very safe and far away. Otherwise, you have most certainly marked them for a bounty.
So with that, like, Rollipa, we were told, had an airship station. Where's the nearest one to Steeplight? Is that the nearest?
Asking for a place that has an airship that goes there.
I'm not saying they would be safe on our continent, but it's a long way away. I'm just saying, like, we could go from one thing to the next, and
Oh, I gotcha.
you know, yeah.
Rollipa doesn't have a airship port, it
not.
has a naval port. The Gloom Coast is one of the closest airship ports. Unless you go into the nation of Prospero, then most of its cities have one. Just good luck smuggling people through them.
Okay, well, I think we've armed ourselves with quite a bit of information. And bacon.
Well, if you plan on leaving, then I'll say good luck on your endeavors and be careful on the road. I hear there are far worse things than bandits making their way through the roads these days.
Noted. And I want to make sure Basilius has the coin, which I look at and has my name on there.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Teddy. Good for nothing. Well, is everybody rested up?
Yeah.
I have no idea what to do with this information.
Well, I mean, at some point I can tell everybody the story, whether it's easier to do it in role-playing chat or over here. It's up to you guys. But we got plenty of time to travel and talk.
Yeah, I mean, we could just kind of skirt south, and like I said, I'll check for what the hell, manticore chimeras. Chimeras? Is that what I got? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, what, head west to Tanyon's Falls the first?
Maybe, or
part
we
of
could
the
just go
journey.
through the woods the whole way. Like, I don't mind. Or, I mean, do you guys? Well,
If you're confident in your skills of guiding us, you've never been here before.
I know, but like, north is north, you know?
Kai, are you confident in your cousin's ability to guide us safely through the forest?
Of course. I'll never trust myself.
Perfect. Well, keep her safe.
She can handle herself.
Yeah, I'd be down for that for the sake of cashing in on some tags at some point.
I mean, just because the road is going to have Prospero people on it, right? If Celius is still there. Sometimes.
What was that?
The road will have some Prospero people, potentially, right?
Oh, I can guarantee that there'll be somebody from the nation of Prospero heading toward Night Hollow.
I mean, that just solves that problem, you know? It'll take longer, but got some horses. I can
I
hunt.
mean, it's also more
most
of a
nights?
straight line, so maybe it wouldn't take that much longer. Dirksian, you down for some more adventure?
Wait, what? What?
You busy thinking about your brother?
How did you know I had a brother? I didn't even know I had a brother.
How did you know that? Do you have like a thing like he has?
Did I hear him say that? Maybe I didn't.
Well, you read the note.
I thought when we were talking about the curse. Oh no, that was a memory. Just kidding then.
You would know, though.
JK lols. I don't think I would say anything.
How did you know?
What? Backtrack. Disavow everything.
That's,
Inside Jack.
This is gonna go well.
yes, I would like to do that, actually.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not gonna win because you can't roll below a 22
right.
or something.
Get that nat
But
20.
You kept me from falling off a roof earlier. Who knows?
Did he say brother? You're not sure. You were definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I would like to. Yeah. Does the forest literally go up to the crack, despite the map? The edge of the world.
It's a ways away from the crack.
Okay.
I mean, like, light parts of the forest go up to the crack, but not the heavy, deep forest.
Okay. Don't go too close to the crack. Sometimes that land is unstable.
So you are... How do you want to do this? Do you want to head north of Catagnia?
Catanoia.
Catanoia? That's it, yeah. Thank you. Through the Asiacerium, or do you just want to go, like, along the edge of the world?
Along the edge of the fucking world.
Well, I'm excited now.
Oh boy. Let's do it.
I am trusting in Panoply.
They did have a base in this forest, so we know it runs through somewhere. Like it was underground, underwater, right? Like a river?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Panoply feels like she leads you in the correct direction. At least you know that.
Oh good.
You head off into the forest. I would like everybody to roll a d6. That's good. That's good.
Good things are happening. I can tell.
2 ones. You guys like to roll ones.
That's the first one I've rolled. Usually I carry the goddamn group.
Turxian, do you want to cast Mage Armor on yourself?
Yes, please.
I already have your AC set to 15.
So also, I need to take a 3rd level off.
Oh, for the remove curse, yeah.
Yeah.
You've been on this journey just in a couple hours. You've been pretty aloof and thinking about this memory quite a lot. You remember that your brother's name is Turval. What did I say it was? Turvald? Yeah, Turvald. Random memories come back to you. You're pretty sure that these memories are from when you were a very little kid. Like, probably around the age of 4. And a lot of it are broken memories, just like it would be from your childhood. But you know that these memories are things that you have never thought of in your entire life, or at least so you thought. Your older brother seems to be about 10 years older than you, and your parents have never talked to you about him their entire life. As you all are heading through the forest, you come across a path in the woods that looks fairly well worn, and it kind of looks like a smuggling path.
Is it in the vicinity of that bandit area we were in before?
No. Nope. Nowhere near it.
Can I tell how recently it's been used?
Yeah, roll a survival check.
Welp.
Blech.
What'd you roll?
A
20.
1.
Oh, sorry, the opposite.
Bard's already trying to lie.
Yeah, you're not sure. But there's clearly a path here.
Clearly.
Do you guys want to...
Did that not move you over?
No. But mine's only
I voted.
98%.
I'm there.
Mine finally finished.
Horses.
You want to follow this for a minute? Just see where it goes? It's kind of not going in the wrong direction anyway.
In Penny we trust.
Why did I do that?
Don't you guys think?
One thing you do notice without much thought is there is a overbearing smell of death. Like rotting death.
There's a carcass near here.
Kime's armpits.
Oh, this is. I mean, it's maybe about that bad, but. Do you ever like clean your armor, Kime? Is that like a thing?
No, I don't have to.
You don't have to?
Oh, it's the undergarments that needs to be cleaned.
Oh, do you?
Done it in a while.
I feel like you'd have a better shot with the ladies if you did that.
You think so? And he kind of sniffs himself.
Yeah. Yes. I'm a lady. I know I'm your cousin, but I'm just going to speak for all ladies on this.
Could take one of those vials of perfume.
No, I think you should clean it in a tub with water or a river when we get there.
I think the perfume will do the trick. So are we investigating smelly stuff?
Yeah, let's
Or guilty?
keep on keeping on.
I can have Gilfy go check it out.
Sometimes
Okay.
horses don't like dead smells. We should not get too close. You
We'll have
gone, Nemo?
I lost connection to the server.
Oh, the cat just rolled a 20.
Or he rolled a nat one.
Failed that animal handling check.
Yep.
Alright, back from that technical difficulty. You all head down this little worn path. Panoply is unable to figure out how recently it is worn, but you are able to smell the stench of rotting death. As you look further down the path, there's some really old, like wooden stake piles, and some of them have skulls on them, dried blood. The trees in this area look a little not as well off as the lush forest that you're used to in here. Further down the path, you can see what you can only assume to be an altar of some sort, as there is a massive head with etchings, carvings in it, and other animal heads, mystical beasts hung up on this stone altar. The eyes of this huge skull, which you presume to be some sort of ancient dragon, have burning braziers within them, and it's this glowing amethyst purple fire.
Can we tell if anybody is around?
Make a perception check if you want.
Did he just perceive a dead commoner?
No, from where you are on the hilltop, you can't make much out other than this altar. You can see that the path raises up over here, and looks like there's some sort of bridge that goes across. But from your vantage point, you can't see down. So technically, you guys can't see anything beyond this cliff.
And I presume our path was headed this way, south, southeast, south, southwest.
Yep.
Cool.
You can hear the ever so faint sound of rushing water.
Are the horses nervous?
They're a little skittish, but they don't seem to be the most stalwart horses yet. Maybe Ben and Jerry, they're a little bit less skittish, but the two new horses, anytime you sort of stop in the forest, they get a little skittish.
You got the dragon head?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
walk up to the dragon head, kind of just admire it.
Trixion's gonna send Gilfie to go scout out past the ledge and see if she sees anything.
Looks so cool. What is this?
Panoply's gonna stay with the
Roll a
horses.
perception check for Gilfie. Okay. Gilfie makes out that there are a bunch of tents in this pass down here. There are some old, burnt out fire pits, and there's a plethora of dead bodies. There are quite a few dead bodies. She can even make out some dead bodies in the tents.
Can you tell what wounds are on all these dead bodies?
Yes, with a 20 she can. I mean, you're not a physician, but they look like they've been partially eaten and very decayed.
Delicious.
Well, I guess we know where the smell's coming from then.
Gilfie also notices some movement in this tent and this tent.
Just movement.
Yeah, with she'd have to like go to the tent to see in it if she wants to.
Turxian will kind of motion everybody to stop for a second. Walk over to Arvin and put one hand on Arvin's shoulder and keep his other hand ready to snap his fingers as he goes into Gilfie's eyes. And he's going to have Gilfie fly over here to see, look into the tent, ready to dismiss her the second he sees anything he doesn't like.
Okay, Gilfie sees in the two tents these ragged individuals. Best way to describe them are old hermits that have a taint of cultist to them, or a touch of cultist to them.
He'll just, have they noticed Gilfie?
Is Gilfie trying to be stealthy, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a stealth check then.
Are we gonna try to skirt around this or investigate?
They do not notice Gilfie.
Okay. I'll have Gilfy fly back up towards us then, and I'll come out of it and just say, looks like there are, I don't know, like hags or something down there, but not everyone's dead. Seem to be kind of creepy though. We should probably try and avoid them if we can, or at least be on our guard.
Did we ask them questions? Friendly?
Seems like it'd be best to avoid them altogether. Is there anything cool over on the stone altar? Other
Do you
than
want to
the
investigate it?
Yeah, I do.
Alright, roll investigation. The most interesting part of this altar is the eyes in the skull of this dragon. And that it is a burning amethyst crystal that is creating the flame, and it has a very pungent smell to it, almost nauseating.
Okay.
There are glyphs on the heads of all the trophies.
I make them out what they are? Or is it like in a language and I'd have to use comprehend languages?
What languages do you know?
I know Abyssal, Celestial, Elvish, Common, and Infernal.
They are in Abyssal. The glyphs speak of summoning a being, and that being's name. Where'd I put it? Is Phobos. And it speaks of a messenger. And there's another name deep in there, a name called Malthus.
Do either of those names mean anything to me?
Roll a history check.
Oh shit.
You've spent a lot of time reading books, listening to tales. The name Phobos is not familiar. The name Malthus, you've read in some sort of horror story type book once upon a time of a powerful being named Malthus who was betrayed by what you can only make out is like an ancient being of death and darkness, and that he was once an admirer of Samara, the queen of the underworld. But that's kind of all you know.
Guys.
You only got that because you rolled a nat 20.
Nice. Guys, between those crones down there and this altar, we should not be here.
I am all on board with skirting past this situation if possible.
Is there another path that we could take?
Well, can we just like lead the horses across the bridge into the west?
Honestly, even if we lose some time, are we in a hurry to Steep Light? Can we just turn around and go back the other way? I don't like this.
Yeah, Penny, is there another way around here?
If you come back and ask me, like I am staying with the horses just because I'm probably the best at animal handling. If you come back and tell me this and that we should go around, yes, but we might lose half a day.
Are we really in a rush?
No.
And that altar talks about summoning something, and the only other name I recognized was, basically like an ancient, long forgotten guy who used to be an admirer of the Queen of the Underworld. I don't think we should be messing around here.
Yeah, I don't like religion a lot, honestly.
Queen of Thieves, Queen of the Underworld. Everybody's a queen of something. They don't sound very scary to me.
I mean, if we go forward, we need to be ready for a fight. That's all I'm saying.
The horses could get hurt though, and then we'd have a really, really long walk. I'm not saying we couldn't do that either, but it might turn into, jaunt in the woods to drudgery.
Okay. Let's find another route then. I will jump on the horse.
So you all are trying to go around this?
We're trying to stealth the fuck out and go the long way. Yes.
Okay. Let's have everybody roll a stealth check.
Two 20s in a row.
Guys,
Come
I'm
on.
supposed to roll that. What the hell?
Oh, did I roll the...
Come on.
Oh, that's not bad, Kyle.
Whoa!
Wow. You guys quietly move away. As you're getting on your horses to leave, you start to hear the low moans and groans from below. The horses start to get very skittish as you head out.
Okay.
Panoply, are you trying to guide through this forest?
Yep.
Alright, I need you to roll a survival check.
Did we survive?
Okay, this particular area of the forest has a creek that runs through it, and various places of the creek get a little deep to trudge horses across. You have to find natural land bridges. And then there's a lot of cliffs in this area, a lot of rocks and cliffs. So instead of losing a full day, you do lose a half day of your journey. So you essentially It took you about a half day to get here. That half day is essentially wasted.
We're alive.
But we're alive.
At what cost?
Dun, dun, dun.
So you all have been traveling for over 8 hours. You've taken a short rest somewhere in there. Do you all want to settle down for the night?
Yes. Am I comfortable? We're hours away from that place now, right?
Yes. 4 hours.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. During the short rest, I would have, or during my watch the night before, I would have attuned to that umbrella power.
Yeah, absolutely. So you all settle down for the night in this, after this eerie, creepy encounter in the forest. Some of you have questions in your head about your future. Some of you have questions in your head about your past. And as Turxian sits down for the night, he tries to push through his thoughts, through these childhood memories of his. You come across another thought in your head when you were about 14 years old. You're pretty sure that you remember studying. You remember a lot of studying. You remember some sort of test. No, it was an arcane test. Just simple. Practicing cantrips, studying spells and scrolls, reciting knowledge about the various schools of magic. You always thought you failed this test. But this memory, you're pretty sure you passed. I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Alive and well.
Here's to not being dead.
Cheers.
Who says we would have died?
Kime, you always think we're not gonna die, and we almost do.
I'm invincible, remember that.
No, you're not. I'm gonna, like, clink your armor. If you have a helmet, I'm gonna sit there and ding it.
All right. I guess before